Hey folks, we're back with another one. Fresh start to the week. Always love Mondays, man. I actually get excited about Mondays. That's the cool thing with trading is that most people going into, desk job or something, regular jobs, Monday through Friday, aren't looking forward to Monday usually, unless they love what they do, which, is great if they do. But anyways, yeah, I get excited about Mondays just because it's, back to trading. So anyways, let's dive into it. It is October 18th. Today I'm up 494 bucks, which is a good day for me. Glad I think this is like the high of the month for me as far as profit in any one day. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's not, anything record breaking for me. It's definitely smaller. But hey, I'm happy with it. It's a good finish to the day, I will say that. So let's look at the stocks that I traded, show you how I did. Today I actually started off sluggish, and there was not much that I like trading or as far as opportunities. So anyways, yeah, we'll start with this one, PROG, PROG. I'm not sure what looks like there's some news here. I don't know what the catalyst was exactly, but anyways, news on this stock, and I was just eyeballing it because it was at the top of the list for me as far as percent movers. So I felt, kind of obligated to trade this one. I did not do all that great on it. I kind of really chopped around. I took a ton of trades today, and there were a few spots I was looking for kind of breakout zones, and there were just some areas we couldn't break out of. This was one in general. We rushed up. We had a nice move up. I think I missed this whole piece and kind of FOMO'd and tried to get into it and chopped around a bunch in here. But, it was a pullback. We hit this high, pulls back, and then goes for another leg. So that definitely had some strength. So right in here, we kind of got this consolidation piece. And then I was thinking we might try to retest the highs, but this whole area here, I would have considered it like for a flat top breakout. And I think I hopped in twice in this area, anticipating the breakout. We never got it. We got a kind of a fake break right here, back down, and just went sideways again and then faded off. And here was a risky part. If you were trying to hold this stock, look at this sell-off, massive sell-off right here, one candle. So I feel like recently we're seeing a lot, this month, of these kind of stocks where we get movers, right? Here's a mover, and then we'll get some crazy volatile areas where they'll do these flashes, and it's, as a day trader, that's difficult to anticipate, and if you get caught in it, it's sometimes difficult to get out. So anyways, massive flush here, very quick, but it did recover, and look, recovered quite well and came up. So I think I had a quick little scalp trying to just snag, a bottom flash buy and then sell to the high side. And I did get a one trade. It wasn't huge or anything, but it was, still in the green for me there. So that was kind of good. But that's definitely risky when it's going to the downside. I just know more recently, since we've had these crazy stocks that aren't, they're not rational. Typically when you have a huge sell-off, it's kind of continued. But for it to recover this much, I don't know, is kind of irrational to me. So, that's just, I think, how some of the small cap stocks are trading recently. But anyways, chopped around the rest of it. Let me show my performance before I go to the next stock, because I traded two stocks mainly today, PROG and IO. So here is the performance. Look at this. I started, oh man, tons of trades today. So I had 52 trades, which is quite a lot. And I went sideways for such a long time. positive, negative, finally started getting in the green, got up to 187 bucks. And from there went downhill a little bit and then a huge crash down and went negative. So I think it was, yeah, it was PROG that really took me negative. I was doing all right and making some progress, and I think it was right in here where I went for my next trade, kind of once again anticipating this area here of maybe a flat top breakout and holding it, and we get this flash down. I just had to sell, so that took me negative there. And as you see, it recovers and goes even higher, so that is frustrating stuff. This was kind of a overcrowded stock. I mean, 334 million shares traded today, so that's a lot of shares. Anyways, that was PROG. With, let me go over to IO. IO, I had, I think, even more difficulty with, because it was even more what I like to call like stuck in the mud. Kind of all morning here. Let me zoom out. So if you look at this one, had a nice climb pre-market. We had a pretty big dip and then a huge run up. You know, once the market opened, but it hit resistance a couple times here. And anyways, I think I started trading it actually a little bit later when it crossed VWAP. We got into this area here thinking, okay, retesting the highs, so I'm going to look for breakout. And as you can see, this is just kind of, it was very stubborn here. Hit this resistance, this flat top area, 210 roughly. Hit it a bunch of times. It just never broke past, and finally had the rip to the downside. So I tried to trade a whole bunch in here, just positive, negative, chopping around a whole bunch. Eventually got a little bit more, a few more better trades, I think, in this run up here. But as you can see, zooming out, just, you know, hit a lot of resistance areas and couldn't really run through. But all throughout that whole area, it was just kind of slow to move, you know, small movements. So to me, kind of stuck, it was stuck in the mud in a sense. Now where I really finished off the day good, I felt like I was, you know, once I went negative, I was like, maybe I should just try to get a little green on the table, get positive, and just end the day with whatever, 80 bucks, 100 bucks. And, you know, I kind of did that, and I felt like there was still some opportunity, so I hung around, and I'm glad I did. I actually went sideways for a while, just red, green, and then, you know, couldn't get out of that, break out of that like $150 area. Went down to 55 bucks, and luckily enough, I hung in there and was able to trade out of that, breaking 200. And what really pushed me over to the top, I had my last awesome trade with IO that took me from 308 all the way up to 494. So my last trade was excellent. I went extra shares just to try to get that last good move. So here's IO. The very end of the day, I'm seeing we got this area here that's creating a flat top, and I'm anticipating that breakout because it is, you know, the high of the day here. The high of the day previously was what, 220. 220 was a spot I was watching, and I was anticipating that. So what would happen is when it went up to this spot here, and as it would fade off, I bought in initially. I had a huge good trade here where I went from, I think my average was, yeah, 215. So I was able to buy the bottom here and sell right at like 219. So that was a really good trade for me. But the last trade of the day was anticipating this breakout, and it was the very end of the day. So I hopped in right before the market closed here, and I bought 3,000 shares. So one batch at 216, or 216.93, then 216 again, 216. So it was real quick. I hit my just $1,000 shares, boom, 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 3 times. And I hit it at 218, actually got filled at 216. So I got a really good fill here at 216. And right as the market closed, I was thinking, okay, this thing might have a quick run up. So I held, and put in an after hours order. I didn't want to get too greedy on this one. I realized I thought this would run a lot higher than it did, but as I see it run up and just kind of seemed like it hit kind of a stall, I just threw in my order at 220, yeah, 222, and got filled. So I got a really, I mean, that was a really good trade there. 3,000 shares, going from 216 to 222. Great, and that's what put me up, you know, almost what, 194 on that one trade. So almost 200 bucks on that trade. So that was an excellent way. It was like the cherry on top at the end of the day. And yeah, so you know, this whole middle part of the day was a real struggle, and I was thinking about leaving, but today it turned out well for me to just hang in there and try to manage risk and just try to take good trades. And yeah, one last good trade on IO. So anyways, that's it for me today. I want to hear from you guys. How did you trade? What did you trade today? Did you trade IO and PROG? If you traded anything else, let me know. And I want to hear your numbers, guys. How'd you do today? Are you red? Are you green? You know, don't feel bad if you're red, unless you really broke a ton of rules and just revenge trade like crazy or something. But I think it was a kind of a choppy market today. Just my take on it, but that's really it. Other than that, hey, still looking at my AMC position here. We had a nice run up. It wasn't like a huge, massive run up, but 5%, I'll take it. As you guys know, I'm swing trading this one. This is kind of my long-term trade. Just trying to really see the potential on this. I know it has, you know, the potential to really squeeze hard, but who's to say? I mean, I might wait a really long time on this one. There's no telling if we'll eventually get that massive run up, but anyways, yeah, that's it for me. Take care and see you on the next one.